The West Virginia Mountaineers, looking for their first 6-0 start since 2006, entertain TCU, which has won the last 2 meetings here in Morgantown. West Virginia up 8 spots to number 12 in this week's AP poll. And hi, everybody. Alongside Greg McElroy, I'm Dave Pash. Tom Luganbill will join us in a bit. Well, in 2012, Greg, West Virginia started 5-0, was ranked number 5 in the country, then lost 5 in a row. But we've been here the last few days and talking with fans and coaches. You get the sense this team is different. Everybody around college football wondering, is West Virginia for real? What do you think?
They are. They have a solid resume to this point. Good wins against both BYU and Kansas State. But I think it was last week when they went on the road to Lubbock, Texas, and absolutely dominated the Texas Tech Red Raiders. That got the nation's attention. This is a veteran group. Of their starting 22, 21 are either juniors or seniors. They've been through a lot together, and they are looking forward to improving upon what they've done in the past.
Dana Holgerson told us yesterday this is his best team in his 6th season here with the Mountaineers. TCU, one of the best teams in college football on a bye week, and Gary Patterson has won 12 of his last 13 games when they've had a week off. Their last game was 2 weeks ago, a win over Kansas. West Virginia won the toss and deferred the start on offense. And a short kickoff will be taken at the 7-yard line by Gray. And he fumbles the ball, and West Virginia has it. It's recovered by Nana Kyram, and the Mountaineers will have it inside the 20.
Great job by this West Virginia kickoff team. Setting the tone, getting a hand on the football.
Marvin Gross forcing the fumble. Kyram covers it up.
Excellent start for this West Virginia team.
So a 1st and 10 for the Mountaineers at the 17-yard line. Senior quarterback Skyler Howard, and here's Russell Shell inside the 10-yard line. Close to a first down at the 8. The quarterback Howard is from Fort Worth. 2nd year as a starter. He's 9-1 in his last 10 starts. Transferred from Riverside City College in California. He's the reigning Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week, and he throws it here, and it's a loss on the play. Caught by Karan White at the 10, but a good hit by Nick Orr brings up 3rd down.
Skyler Howard's very good in this offense. Very accurate, better runner than most people would assume, and makes great, quick decisions when he finds an open receiver.
They shift Shell out wide to the left. And Howard changing things up here. This would be big for TCU if it can hold West Virginia to a field goal try. Howard throws, and the catch is made. 1st down, and it's a touchdown. DeKeel Shorts into the end zone for WVU. And he's in, no doubt. Touchdown, West Virginia. A fumble on the opening kickoff by TCU's Deontay Gray. Recovered by West Virginia at the Horned Frog 17-yard line. 4 plays later, Skyler Howard, a touchdown pass to DeKeel Shorts. 61 seconds into the game. It was forced by Marvin Gross, recovered by Nana Kyram at the 17.
short 3rd and 3 for West Virginia. TCU opted to bring pressure, one-on-one coverage with their best receiver, Da'Keil Shorts, and he's able to wrestle the TCU defender into the end zone. Great start for the Mountaineers.
West Virginia 5-0, ranked 12th in the country, up 8 spots in the AP poll. The last time the Mountaineers were 6-0 was 2006. They won 11 games that year. Another short kickoff. It's Gray getting a second chance. Across the 25, trying to get the corner. Excellent return by Gray. Finally forced out of bounds near the 45. Let's bring in Tom Luganbill from the field.
Certainly not the start that TCU would like to have, but now quarterback Kenny Hill has got to do a better job of protecting the football. And when you look at West Virginia on defense, they're going to come after him. They're a base 3-man team, but when they line up with their variety of linebackers and nickel linebackers, you got to account who's for who. Who are the 5 linemen going to account for, and who's going to be that extra rusher that the quarterback's got to be responsible for here today. All-out blitz, cover 0, you're going to see a lot of it.
They've had a really good year defensively so far. Top 25 nationally in points allowed. Here's Kyle Hicks running right, and it's an excellent first down play. He scoots out after picking up the first down at the 44. The quarterback for TCU, Texas A&M transfer Kenny Hill. He's a junior from South Lake. He's accounted for 19 touchdowns in 6 games. He sat out last year after transferring from A&M. And he's in the top 5 nationally in total offense and passing yards, but he has thrown 8 picks this year. Here's Hicks again. Wrapped up 2 yards downfield by Justin Arndt.
Kenny Hill's a very good quarterback. However, he does live a little high risk, high reward. Several times this year, he's thrown interceptions in critical down and distances. He needs to play a very smart game today against an opportunistic defense.
Hill threw 3 picks in that narrow win against Kansas a couple of weeks ago. Here he's on target to Daniel Walsh, but he's short of the marker. Elijah Battle with good coverage. 3rd down for TCU coming up.
Greg, let's see if they put anybody in the middle of the field. That second down right there, that cover 0 look that I talked about. Everybody's up near the line of scrimmage to see if they decide to go after Kenny Hill.
And also, this is possible 4-down territory, so TCU might think about going for it even if they're brought short on this 3rd down play.
They rush 5, Hill in the pocket, throws an interception! Picked off by Douglas! Tracked down from behind at the 35-yard line. 2 takeaways already for the Mountaineers.
Can't let this happen. This crowd is rowdy. Kenny Hill picked off 3 times against Kansas a couple weeks ago. It's not always on the quarterback. Right there, I don't think it was. The receiver got beat to the spot.
So that's just a great play by Douglas?
It's a great play by Douglas, but you also, if you're the wide receiver, and you can see Porter getting out-fought for the football. These receivers got to help out Kenny Hill a little bit too when the ball's up for grabs.
Here's Shell straight ahead on 1st down. Wrestled to the ground at the 30-yard line, picking up 3. So that's the 9th pick thrown by Kenny Hill. In 11 of his last 12 starts, he's been picked off. But as you said, and Gary Patterson pointed this out to the media after the Kansas game, sometimes it's the receivers not on the same page with the quarterback, leading to interceptions. They're not all created equal. High pass. Looked like Karan White maybe mistimed his jump. 3rd and 7 for West Virginia.
Just like we said for TCU a second ago, West Virginia has been a little spotty when it comes to field goals this year. 3rd and 7 here, but I think they have 2 downs to get the first.
Mike Molina, the kicker, as long as 34. Holgerson told us yesterday, and we met with him, anything inside 45 yards They'll kick it. Anything longer than that, he's going to go for it. So right now it's 4-down territory. That pass off target intended for White. So it's 4th and 7. And again, based on what Holgerson told us yesterday, this is a go-for-it situation here for West Virginia. But Holgerson going to change his mind here and bring on Molina.
Boy, is he livid with his football team right now. Dana Holgerson not happy with the misfires with Skylar Howard and his intended targets on 2 consecutive plays to a wide-open receiver.
So it'll be a 47-yard try. Again, the long for Molina is 34 on the season. And this is no good, wide to the left. So that's big for TCU, coughing it up twice already. But that time, West Virginia comes up with nothing. Back here in Morgantown, Dave Pasch, Greg McElroy, and Tom Luganville. West Virginia with 2 takeaways, but a missed 47-yard field goal. It's a 7-0 lead for the Mountaineers. One of 11 unbeaten teams in college football going into the weekend. TCU, first down on the 30-yard line, a quick throw out on the flat to Desmond White. Pushed out after a gain of about 3. During the commercial, Dana Holgerson first talking to his receiver, Shelton Gibson, and then watch him with Skylar Howard, the quarterback here. Upset about that 3rd down play as Hill runs nowhere. In fact, maybe lost a half yard. Justin Arndt there for West Virginia.
Dana Holgerson's been in this situation before. He's not going to leave any stone left unturned. The defense trying to get the ball back right here on an important 3rd and 7, I think, for TCU.
Pressure off the edge, it's picked up. Hill with a long throw, incomplete. Whether it was Walsh or Stewart, who was the intended receiver, hard to tell. They were spaced pretty close to one another, and it's 4th down.
Kenny Hill's going to have to be more accurate today than he's been all season long. This defense capitalizes on bad throws by opposing quarterbacks. Already had 1 picked off. He's going to have to dial it in.
A flag down here. Movement. TCU.
False start. Offense. Number 35. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Another mistake by the Horned Frogs. That's their 51st penalty this year. Their 10th false start. You don't normally see that from a Gary Patterson coach team, Greg.
They've been really inconsistent when it comes to that. 113th in the nation in penalties a game. Over 8.
Nunez punt. Fielded at the 33, inbounds. Great move by Gary Jennings. He did step out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Nice return. 35-yard punt and a return of about 10 yards. Decent field position for West Virginia when we come back.
100 years. Every kiss begins with K. And in part by Cadillac.
Well, we had a sliver of sunshine about 30 minutes ago, the first time we've seen the sun since arriving Thursday afternoon. It's been raining most of the last 3 days. Temperature in the high 40s. Feels like football weather. Late October here in Morgantown. West Virginia with decent starting field position. And it's a design quarterback run for Skylar Howard. Brought down at the line of scrimmage by Denzel Johnson.
No, Greg, I think one of the reasons why Dana Holgerson was so upset is he knows that in these matchups with TCU, you can't afford missed opportunities. Open throws, short throws, field position. They had an opportunity to get up 14-0 in less than 5 minutes gone in the first quarter.
Howard to the air on 2nd down and 10. Pressure in his face, throws one up for grabs, and it's caught by Shorts inside the 30-yard line. 33-yard pass play.
It's a great catch. Skyler Howard says, my guy's better than your guy. DeKeel, go up and make a play for me. Great throw and catch by West Virginia.
So the third time the Mountaineers have been down here already in 5 minutes against TCU's defense. From the 22. Howard with time. Got a man. Touchdown! Shelton Gibson. That'll make the head coach happy. Way to bounce back, Skyler Howard and Gibson, the two guys he was roasting during the timeout. And Molina makes it 14-0, West Virginia.
Skyler Howard delivers a dime right over the middle. You asked if West Virginia was for real. The early going says yes.
ESPN. West Virginia fans happy about their football team coming into the week, and so far so good. The Mountaineers up 14-0. First two kickoffs were brought in around the 15-yard line, and we've got one turnover. This one is kicked deep and will be a touchback. Take a look at today's Good Hands play, brought to you by Allstate.
Got to start with the beautiful catch by DeKeel Shorts down the field that got them into the red zone. And then look at the safeties for TCU. Look at all this green grass right in the middle. There's absolutely nothing for Gibson as he heads right to the middle. All Skyler Howard has to do is negotiate that underneath defender. He anticipates the throw perfectly and puts it right on the number for a big touchdown here early on.
Yeah, that's 39 plays now in the passing game of 20 yards or more for West Virginia. Kyle Hicks reversing field, but a terrific play by Noble Wachuku to take him down for a loss of 1 on the play. Well, so far, West Virginia has run 9 plays and has 2 scores. TCU has run 10 plays and has 2 turnovers. It's usually that simple, right? Whoever wins the turnover game.
That's been TCU's problem, especially in the passing game this year. Most interceptions thrown by a quarterback in the Big 12.
9 by Hill, including 1 today. See how he responds. We saw Howard's response after getting torched by the head coach. Hill got an open receiver. Taj Williams pulls it in one-on-one coverage with Elijah Battle, and that was an excellent throw, but Williams is hurt. And that's their number 1 receiver. 26th catch for Taj Williams, holding onto that left knee.
Greg, that's the risk and reward of playing cover 0 and coming after the opponent. You give up those one-on-one matchups on the outside.
27-yard gain, but man, Williams is in some serious pain. That was a terrific pass. Let's see here if it was on the drag down by Battle where he hurt that knee. Looks like right there, actually.
The
way
very
it came
end.
up, yeah.
Hope he's okay.
But big picture, what does that do for Kenny Hill coming back after the interception and the mistakes to make that play to get TCU into West Virginia territory?
Like what Tom said, high risk, high reward, both defensively and offensively. Kenny Hill has made some poor decisions, but right there, dead on with a down the field throw.
West Virginia up 8 spots in this week's poll to number 12, a 14-0 lead on TCU, but the Horned Frogs are on the move. They've crossed midfield for the second time today. have a first down on the WVU 49. It's Hicks on the cutback. And a good run for Hicks inside the 40-yard line. And Kyle Hicks, the only player in the country with 400 rushing yards and 300 receiving yards. He has been their number one weapon in both the passing and run game this year.
He is very crafty. Right there, you see him reverse field. He does that all the time. Sometimes he does get tackled in the backfield, but more often than not, he's making a guy miss and getting positive yards.
He got 15 that time. Hill pulls it back and throws complete. Walsh had the knee down at the 25, a 9-yard pickup.
Really good bounce back by TCU's offense so far. Right down the field, obviously had the big play. Taj Williams now knocking at the door of the red zone.
There's Doug Meacham along with Sonny Cumbie. Sonny Cumbie coordinate the offense for TCU. 2nd and 1 for the Horned Frogs at the 25 of West Virginia. They'll keep it on the ground, and Hicks has the first down inside the 20. It's been such a strange year for TCU. They're 4-2, but you look at their losses, a double overtime loss to Arkansas where they had an 8-point lead with 90 seconds left. And then the loss against Oklahoma where it looked like they were going to win that game too. And then one of their wins, they're down late against Kansas and have to come back to beat the Jayhawks.
Been pretty inconsistent. I think they need to get healthy, which they did over the course of the bye week. And now it's all hands on deck as they move forward the latter half of their schedule.
You would think they need a score here, the way West Virginia is going offensively. Hicks again cutting it back. Oh, beautiful move in the hole. Man, Kyle Hicks, terrific run of 9 yards. He cut back twice on that run and shook a couple defenders.
He does it all the time. I mean, the first guy never brings him down. Even if it's in the backfield, it feels like. All 11 defenders need to rally to the football when he has it because he's tough to bring down with just 1 or 2.
Carried the ball 90 times this year. He'll get it again here in short yardage and gets the first down. They had their center back, which is big for TCU. Austin Schlottman, who missed the last couple of games with a foot injury. Patrick Morris had been starting, but he's a guard.
Schlottman's their best offensive lineman there at center, and especially with the tempo they play at, his experience is going to help this offense so much because of his ability to communicate.
To look at TCU, they've been awful in the red zone with 3 turnovers. First and goal, though, at the 7-yard line. Hill, fade route, and he threw it out of bounds, trying to hit Daniel Walsh. There's a penalty marker down at the 4-yard line. A legal man downfield. That's another unnecessary mistake by TCU there, more than 3 yards downfield on a fade route.
Ineligible receiver downfield on the pass. Offense, number 51. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Just as we're praising Schlottman, he makes a mistake there, but that's what's been happening to this team in the red zone a lot. Penalties, turnovers. They have not been executing.
It's really the exact opposite of West Virginia in the red zone, who've been stellar throughout the year.
So 2nd down and goal from the 12-yard line. I'll check that 1st and goal because of the penalty. Play clock at 1. They snap it in time. No, they didn't. The official stops play. The back judge threw the flag. Another infraction on TCU.
Prior to the snap, delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, it's first down.
That absolutely can't happen. Play clock's running down. You have to have a sense of urgency. Sure enough, it's a good call by the official. Kenny Hill's got to pick it up a little bit there because yards are like gold in the red zone. interceptions, play clock, pre-snap penalties. It's been ugly so far for TCU.
Hicks between the tackles, moves the pile to about the 13-yard line. But that's why Kenny Hill has taken so much flack over the years. It's because of the turnovers. Now look, this guy's in the top 5 in passing and total offense, so he makes some good plays. But it's the mistakes that outweigh those good plays. On 2nd and goal, Hill to the air, has time, and he's got Hicks, but he's dropped immediately. Justin Arndt, the first-year starter. It's a 215-pound linebacker, did a pretty good job covering Hicks there. 3rd and goal.
You mentioned Kenny Hill being smart with the football. You're inside a field goal range. You cannot take unnecessary chances. Expect West Virginia to probably drop all the way out.
Here's that look we were showing.
Yeah, but looks like they're showing a pressure look here. Getting a check up front.
We'll see this a lot. No down lineman, technically. On 3rd and goal for TCU, and here they come. Hill gets it away. Another near interception. Jeremy Tyler dropped the ball. You wonder, was that on John Diarce, the receiver? Otherwise, that was an awful throw by Hill as the field goal team takes the field.
Can't take unnecessary chances. Look, it's a pressure. It's cover 0, all out, nobody deep. You have one-on-one. Don't throw it off your back foot. Diarce did. Looked like he kind of sold out Kenny Hill. But Kenny Hill has to understand, look, I can't just throw it up to no man's land and hope that my guy's there to bring it down. Almost a very costly mistake.
Brandon Hatfield just sneaks that one inside the right upright to get TCU on the board as we head to the studio with the Mountaineers in front 14-3. All right, Cassidy, if you had to say right now between the Pac-12 and the Big 12, and maybe the answer is both, who is most likely at this point to get left out of the playoff?
I would say the Big 12. And West Virginia has been outstanding. Baylor's undefeated as well. Oklahoma, a lot of people think they might be the best team in the Big 12. They already have 2 losses. One to Houston and then obviously one to Ohio State. The Pac-12, Utah, only 1 loss. Not really an impressive performance so far this season, but only 1 loss. Washington's undefeated, appears to be the class of the Pac-12, but it's that 13th data point, though. The championship game. The Big 12 does not have one. The Pac-12 does. I think that's a big deal to the committee.
You got Baylor that plays here at West Virginia to end the season. From the 5-yard line, Shelton Gibson. Out of bounds at the 24. All right, let's bring in Tom. What do you think, Luke? Big 12 or Pac-12? Most likely conference to be left out of the playoff, or is it both?
Well, I think right now it's the Big 12. And as we're sitting here in Morgantown, you've got to look at the schedule the rest of the way. West Virginia's sitting here playing host to TCU. You mentioned they host Baylor, but they also host Oklahoma. So that gives them great advantages down the stretch that they can continue to get hot. I'm not so sure at some point or another, whether it's Utah playing Washington or SC playing Washington, somebody doesn't tumble in the Pac-12 as well.
Howard back to throw on 1st down, surveying the situation. Now takes off, and he can run. Last week, he rushed for 89 yards. He got about 7 there. Guys, I think the way things are trending, now look, we got a half a season to go, but the way things are trending, I wouldn't be surprised if both get left out, because if Michigan and Ohio State continue to play this way, the loser of that game at the end of the year may still make the playoff along with Clemson and Alabama.
Not to mention Louisville.
What about, Louisville?
In the ACC. How about Texas A&M or Alabama? How things go today between the Aggies and the Crimson Tide. The loser of that game, if they win out, they could throw their hat in the ring as well.
Justin Crawford in at running back for West Virginia after suffering an ankle injury in the last game. He's out there and he's wrapped up. Oh, Joseph Broadnax hog ties him at the 30-yard line for a 2-yard loss. It'll be 3rd and 5.
Crawford's got to hit the hole better than that. That was not much of an effort to press the hole in a run game where West Virginia, Greg, I think you would agree, this is where some of the really good tweaks Dana Holgerson has made to this offense over the year. They'll run some pistol, they'll run some I formation. They've been so successful on first and second down because of their run game that it's limited their negative plays as an offense as a whole this year.
On third down, they convert almost 47% because they always seem to be in manageable situations like this.
And again, Howard with time and an open receiver. Then it's dropped by Shorts. He had it, but couldn't hang on to it. It would have been a first down. The pass was a little behind him. And that perhaps is why he dropped the football. Fourth down.
Very poor throw. You got a guy running in space. Skylar Howard
looked like he had
might have possessed that. It could be a fumble.
Does
there a clear recovery?
Yeah, let's see if they jump on the ball. They do. Well, let's see if that is reviewed further from upstairs. Doesn't look like they're going to stop play. Man, I thought it was close to him having possession there. And having trouble with the football on the return is Desmond White, but he's able to track it down. 47-yard punt, ball on the 24 for TCU. Now tonight on ESPN, an SEC top 25 doubleheader with Auburn, Arkansas at 6, and then at 9, Ole Miss and LSU. And Ed Orgeron get another win for the Tigers as their interim head coach.
Ole Miss is 3-3. We saw him.
Oh man,
we saw him play against Georgia. That was an impressive football team, talent-wise.
That wasn't a 3-3 team on that day.
Absolutely not. They could slip to 3-4 though, because going to Tiger Stadium at night, you know Death Valley's going to be rocking.
Obviously, the voters feel that they're pretty good. 3 losses and they're still ranked higher than LSU. First down, Kenny Hill, and here comes a reverse to Deontay Gray, who fumbled the opening kickoff. He's past the 30-yard line. Justin Arndt tracks him down after a 9-yard pickup.
Deontay Gray obviously put it on the deck earlier like you alluded to. He's been pretty valuable to this TCU team though. Play a little defense, play a little offense, obviously key in the return game. He's been valuable to this team.
And we haven't seen Kevontae Turpin yet, who might be their best offensive player. He's missed the last 3 games with a knee injury. We're told he will play some today, but we haven't seen him yet. Hicks gets the first down and more, runs into the official. That's the best tackle made all day on Hicks. And it's by the umpire.
The umpire? He didn't wrap him up.
He didn't have to.
Tab Slaughter, the backside tackle.
My goodness. It's an unfortunate break for the Horned Frogs there.
Here's Hicks off the right edge. Running room again to the 48-yard line. That's a 7-yard run for Hicks. Third in the Big 12 in rushing, averaging 80 yards per game on the season. And he's already over 50 in this game. Got an injury timeout. Jared Harper, starting strong safety, the leading tackler for West Virginia, shaken up. Now, we thought we might have a shootout based on history between these two teams and how potent the offenses are. Kind of a wild start with, as we mentioned, Gray fumbling the opening kickoff. The Mountaineers convert a touchdown to Shorts to go up 7-0. And then Howard with a deep ball. Shorts with an incredible catch, setting up another touchdown pass. This one to Gibson. TCU comes back with a field goal and now has the ball near midfield, trailing though the Mountaineers 14-3.
If I'm TCU right now though, have the ball. I don't know if I could have played much worse the first couple possessions. Obviously, fumbling the kickoff return, and then allowing an interception. And yet you're still down 11 points with the ball driving. This TCU team, they've come from behind before. Did so a number of times. Most recently, coming back in the fourth quarter against Kansas 2 weeks ago. So they will not be intimidated. It's a young team, however. They can score points, and Gary Patterson's one of the best in the business when it comes to making adjustments.
It's not about moving the football. That's something we know that TCU will do. They're in the top 10 nationally in total offense. It's the turnovers. It's the mistakes, the penalties, the giveaways that have hurt TCU.
And that's why there's only stats that matter, like red zone production, turnover margin, converting third downs. You can take total offense and all the yards and throw it out the window.
In this day and age, you're absolutely right, Tom.
On 2nd and 3, they'll keep it on the ground. It's Treboris Johnson. He gets hit hard, but it's a first down. So TCU, for the 3rd time, is in West Virginia territory. The last time the Horned Frogs lost more than 2 games in a season, you got to go back to 2013. They were 4-8. Trevon Boykin was playing wide receiver. So Gary Patterson, because they lost 8 games, said, I got to change things offensively. He hires Sonny Cumbie. He hires Doug Meacham, who, like Dana Holgerson, come from that Mike Leach tree. It changes the offense. Boykin goes to quarterback, and they're a national title contender for a couple years. But again, this year, a couple of losses because of the mistakes. Here's Hill making a good decision. Instead of forcing it, taking off and picking up positive yardage to the 43-yard line. It's a 4-yard run.
You know, Greg, as a quarterback, whether you're a runner or not, when you see the middle of the field open and there's no safety help anywhere, part of your progression read becomes running the football because there's nobody to account for the quarterback. And to your point, Dave, that was a fantastic decision-making right there, because when you go 0, take off and run if you don't like what you see.
I don't think I would have taken off and run, to be honest with you.
You would have been sacked?
I would have been sacked. If it's cover 0, the likelihood of me escaping, very, very small.
So either teams didn't run cover 0 back in 2009 when you guys won the championship, or you had a great offensive line.
A little bit of both.
14-3 West Virginia over TCU after 1 quarter here in Morgantown, as West Virginia looks to go 6-0 in the season. We'll return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Virginia leads TCU 14-3 as we continue Dr. Pepper's championship drive game of the week. The Mountaineers unbeaten at 5-0, one of 11 undefeated teams in college football heading into the week. One of 2 in the Big 12 along with Baylor. The Bears are off this week. They're at Texas next week. TCU in league play is 2-1. And they're driving again in West Virginia territory, but they only have 3 points so far. Pump fake, Hill gets out of there. What a great play again by Kenny Hill. And throws to a sliding Jerrison Stewart. First down catch, but that was all Kenny Hill.
Outstanding job by Kenny Hill. Pressure, blitz, all out. Free man, makes a miss, and keeps his eyes downfield. Great execution by the quarterback, who had a tough start, but is starting to find his rhythm.
Darian Howard was in the backfield first and should have made the play on Hill. First down inside the 35-yard line. Hill to the sideline. Another sliding attempt, this time Williams, who's back in the game. Can't come up with it. It's good to see because Williams was hurt earlier and it looked bad, but he returns. There's Doug Meacham. He's on the field. Sonny Cumbie is up in the booth. Now, Dana Holgerson worked with Meacham at Oklahoma State under Mike Gundy and was a coach on the Texas Tech staff for Mike Leach when Sonny Cumbie was a player there. 2nd and 10. Penalty marker down. Another false start on the Horned Frogs.
False start. Offense, number 69. 5-yard penalty. It's 2nd down.
Gary Patterson's a defensive-minded head coach. He said, look, in order to compete in the Big 12, I have to score points. He says, who are the best, most innovative minds I can find? Doug Meacham is the first guy he called. Look at the numbers, look at the production, and how much it's changed since 2014. Unbelievable.
And Greg, we see, though, how TCU and West Virginia, for that matter, seem to be run-first teams. Here's a shovel pass to Hicks inside the 30-yard line and dropped at the 25. So that's a 14-yard pickup. We were talking with Dana Holgerson yesterday about how much they're running the ball, and he said basically Mike Leach has kicked him out of the club, won't even talk to him anymore.
You're gone. No, you run the ball too much. You're not in the air raid system anymore. You got to run the ball, though. Helps your defense and helps you be efficient on 1st and 2nd down.
That was a good play there on 2nd down to get him in 3rd and 1. How many will the Mountaineers bring here? Hicks running the football, breaks a tackle and gets the first down. Boy, great balance along the sideline with Kaiser White chasing him. And Hicks able to move the chains. First down.
The only guy that's brought down Kyle Hicks so far in the open field is the umpire,
right,
who he ran right into his backside and fell straight to the ground. Very strong, great balance. A perfect back for what they want to do offensively.
Travoris Johnson is in now at running back, spelling Hicks here. Johnson has running room at the 20-yard line, takes on the defender and wins that battle at the 15. Kaiser White, who's been West Virginia's best defender, came up to try to take on Travoris Johnson, and the back won.
Cool, Chris Bear. The pads are popping here in Morgantown.
And it's a run. Johnson picking up the first down to the 11-yard line. They'll rotate Hicks and Johnson. Derek Green will play as well, a Michigan transfer. Hicks is back out there now. Just outside the 10-yard line.
Taking his time, getting into the perfect play.
Hill to the air, got one-on-one coverage. A perfect back shoulder throw to Jalen Austin. TCU touchdown. And give Kenny Hill a lot of credit. He started poorly, but has really come on the last couple of drives. That was a dart, back shoulder.
It's a great throw. Great adjustment, great audible. When you make a check like that in the pre-snap and you're able to execute it, the entire offense will feel very confident moving forward.
That's 5 touchdown catches on the year for Jalen Austin. The extra point is good. TCU, after West Virginia got off to a hot start, leading 14-0, has scored the last 10 points. Kenny Hill's 13th touchdown pass of the season, and the Horned Frogs are back in the game. Kenny Hill was at Texas A&M a couple of years ago, got up to that great start, but then his team struggled, he struggled, ran into trouble off the field, was suspended at A&M, transferred to TCU, and talking with Gary Patterson this week, he's talked a lot about the maturity of Kenny Hill. I know that he had that motion that he claims was not a throat slash earlier this year that maybe cost a game for TCU as Shelton Gibson returns it past the 25-yard line and finally brought to the ground at the 33. Look at the touchdown.
West Virginia loves to bring pressure. They dialed it up again right here. Instead, Kenny Hill decides to audible, give you a one-on-one with extra protection on the outside. He throws a perfect back shoulder throw that is absolutely impossible to cover. Great adjustment, great check, and great throw. Kenny Hill's bounced back after a rough start.
2 for 4 with that pick, and then he's completed 6 of his last 8, including that touchdown. They're going to run Russell Shell. This is only the 13th play by West Virginia's offense in this game. He steps out of bounds near the first down marker with Traven Howard, the number 2 tackler in the Big 12, pushing him out. It's a 9-yard play, though. Shell again. Good second effort. Ran into Broadnax. Picks up the first down.
Russell Shell, he's had an interesting career. Started at Pitt, decided to transfer here. He's kind of taken his time, hasn't become the go-to guy up until this year. Wendell Smallwood was that guy, so he's kind of been patient. Now he's getting his opportunity and has made the most of it to this point.
He was so highly recruited coming out of high school. Things didn't work out at Pitt. Maybe they'll work out this year. They're trying to set up the screen to him here at the 45-yard line. Shell into TCU territory, and finally knocked out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. That's a 21-yard screen pass to Shell.
Look at Skylar Howard start his eyes to the right. Tries to fool the defense. There's nobody home with great blocking out in front. And a lot of green grass for Shell.
And the guy who was downfield blocking was Tyler Orlowski, their center, who Mountaineer coaches say might be their best player on offense.
He's their alpha dog. He's their best leader.
True freshman Kennedy McCoy inside the 25-yard line. There's a penalty flag down. Traven Howard on the stop. McCoy had 99 rushing yards last week, then injured his shoulder. They weren't sure that he was going to be able to go in this game.
Personal foul, hands to the face. Defense, number 95. At the distance of the goal. Automatic first down.
That's on Aaron Curry, and again, this goes back to what we talked about in the first quarter. It's these kind of penalties that get you beat, and it's a big reason why they've lost twice, and they've hurt themselves in this game because of penalties.
95, you see that right hand up into the face mask of Orlowski. It's a good call by the officials. TCU's got to quit making mistakes like that and giving free yards to their opponents.
32 penalty yards. Howard back to throw, has somebody in the flat. It's caught by Jennings to the end zone. Touchdown, West Virginia. Man, was he open. That's 3 touchdown passes already for Skyler Howard. And the first of the year for Gary Jennings. Molina makes it 21-10, West Virginia.
Skyler Howard only has 9 attempts. 3 have gone for touchdown. Doesn't get much easier than this. Throw it out in the swing route and let him go. Touchdown, Mountaineers.
Well, last week, West Virginia was the lowest-ranked Power 5 unbeaten team. They were behind Boise State, ranked 20th in the country. Mountaineer fans weren't the only ones wondering if this West Virginia team was for real, because you remember 4 years ago they started 5-0. They got to number 5 in the country, then lost 5 in a row. Dana Holgerson told us yesterday he thinks this team is different, feels it's the best team he's had. It's the offense that's behind the defense, but so far the offense looks pretty good for West Virginia. Here's Deontay Gray on the return for TCU. Past the 30 and spun down at the 33-yard line.
This West Virginia defense loves to dictate with pressure down in the red zone early on. Get a free guy off the right-hand side, force Kenny Hill to throw it early. You drop an interception. But they can play with your eyes, too. This time showing pressure, dropping out. Kenny Hill's ready to throw it. He said, oh, wait, they dropped out. The guy's underneath. I got to try to run it. This West Virginia defense loves to dial it up, Tom. Tony Gibson's got to be careful, though, as he moves forward.
Yeah, he really does. He's got to be careful that he doesn't show his hand too much to where he makes it easy for Kenny Hill. Gives him one-on-one personnel reads on the outside like they've had in the last drive.
Hill to throw, and it's juggled but pulled down by Daniel Walsh. And now a flag comes in. Elijah Battle with a hard hit on Walsh. West Virginia's already without Maurice Fleming for this first half after he was called for targeting last week in the second half of their game with Texas Tech.
Remember, targeting is forcible contact to the head or neck area of a defenseless player, and a receiver going up to try to make a catch is considered defenseless.
Personal foul, targeting, defense number 19. The previous play is under further review.
Now, do you agree that that's targeting? It's definitely forcible contact, but
it is targeting to me. And they'll review all aspects of this play
I don't know, Greg. I mean, he hit him hard, but he hit him mostly in the shoulder area, and then the head hit the turf. That's why it looked so violent, because the head hit the turf that time.
This is a difficult rule. They've tried to make changes to it. Obviously, he's not trying to go after the head of a player, but the receiver's falling down. Looks like that right shoulder does in fact hit Walsh on the back of the head. The shoulder.
Guys, look at how the defender's helmet is to the left. He's not leading. All right, his shoulder pad now hits the helmet of the receiver. This is going to be a difficult one for the officials.
I just don't understand, guys. As a defensive back, how are you supposed to try to break up a pass when a guy is going to the ground?
Still, it's forcible contact to the head or neck area.
I guess my point is more about the rule and how these are officiated. Because, again, the defender, it looked like a little bit of contact between the shoulder and the head, but the shoulder was mostly hitting the shoulder of the offensive player. Again, I understand what the rule is. Here's the definition of targeting a defenseless opponent, forcible contact. I just think it's becoming awfully hard in college football in the pro game to be a corner or a safety, especially in those situations where we're seeing the ball and you're trying to make a hit to jar the ball free.
I agree. Look, I know it's impossible to tell intent, but I wish there was something into the rule that could measure intent.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Number 19 is disqualified from the game. 16-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Holgerson doesn't like it, and clearly by saying, as Reggie Smith did, that the ruling on the field stands, they didn't have video evidence to overturn the ruling on the field of targeting. And so they're without Battle and Fleming, two starting corners now.
By the way the rule is written, it's the correct call. Forcible contact to the head or neck area of a defenseless player.
Boy, barely. I mean, again, the head hit the turf.
I think that call has had a lot of adjustments. I think it needs a few more.
Hill, everybody covered downfield. And he's wrapped up by Darian Howard for a loss of 3 on the play. Howard missed on him earlier, but got him that time.
Hey, Greg, I really like this change up here. Instead of coming after him, instead of showing the pressure, they back off, and they don't make things easy for Kenny Hill to decipher.
Tony Gibson, look, they only have 3 down linemen. It's an unconventional look. 3-3-5, 3 linemen, 3 linebackers, 5 defensive backs. These guys drop 8 an awful lot and force you to make good decisions throwing the football. But they can also dial it up with some pressures too. Looks like pressure's coming here.
Hill to throw on 2nd and long. It's caught, and then the ball comes out. Ruled incomplete. Daniel Walsh unable to hang on. Looked like Kenny Hill put that one on him. Walsh couldn't bring it in. Antonio Crawford, who's in now for Elijah Battle.
Very good throw. Tight coverage. Going right after the corner that's coming off the bench and being thrown into a tough spot.
Hill on 3rd down and 12. It's a shovel pass to Hicks. Hicks in trouble, wrapped up, and brought down. Adam Schuler. Well, they got 14 yards on that play earlier. The Mountaineers read that one better. John Lewis in there as well for West Virginia. And TCU will punt the football.
Greg, that play should have gone, man. They had 5 in the box. Wow. Good job, West Virginia on defense, playing off blocks.
Great job recognizing it, too. They didn't rush, get too aggressive, come upfield. They held their water just a little bit and rallied to the football.
So Adam Nunez to punt here. West Virginia coming after it. Nunez gets it away. That is a terrific punt. Fair caught by Gary Jennings around the 6-yard line, backing up the Mountaineers, who have a 21-10 lead. Dade Allstate has contributed millions in scholarship funds. Elijah Battle ejected from the game for targeting, so you can't be on the field, but he found a spot to watch the game. He's in the West Virginia weight room, which is in the end zone, just behind where the Mountaineers are operating here on their 7-yard line, as Russell Shell bursts through the line of scrimmage and gets out to the 12, picking up 5 yards.
He's there in the end zone. Just hate it for him. Trying to go in, make a good form tackle, wrapping up, not leading with his head. The way the receiver falls, it ends up to where his shoulder hits him in the helmet. And that, by the letter of the law, is forcible contact. That rule needs to be changed to make sure that things like that don't happen.
Shell on 2nd down, picks a hole, and gets the 1st down. Julius Lewis on the tackle. Russell Shell last week had over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, the 5th time he's had 2 or more touchdowns in a game.
This West Virginia team really trying to establish the line of scrimmage and get this run game going.
That's kind of disheartening for TCU. You back them up with a great punt, and then they just hammered between the tackles on 2 plays and get a 1st down and breathing room. So 1st down on the 19-yard line. They'll run it again. Shell is loose at the 25. Past the 30. Getting the 1st down.
Hey, Dave, Greg, you take a look down the line here at Dana Holgerson. You look at his play sheet. You see how it's folded up in just quarters of one single sheet. See a lot of these guys got the big play sheet and looks like a poster board. You've got all these things on it. This is more of a Cliff Notes version because he's a play caller off of feel. He's a play caller off of tempo. So he's going to glance down. He's going to see what he likes. He's going to make some quick tweaks and adjustments. But he's not going off of a set group of plays that are going to be pre-scripted in any way, shape, or form.
Shell dumped in the backfield by Denzel Johnson for a loss. 2nd down.
And Tom, this air raid offense, I guess you could still call it that because that's the tree he's from, even though Mike Leach says he's no longer in the club because he runs the ball too much. So much of it is based off of tagging receivers.
Yes.
And the run-pass option concepts. Not a ton of plays. They kill you with execution and finding green grass. That's why this offense, because of the way they stretch you horizontally, is so difficult to defend.
How about our guy Paul Johnson at Georgia Tech? I know it's a different offense, the triple option offense, but he has no play sheet, no call sheet. The pass caught by Jovan Durant to the 36-yard line. Anthony Tejada in coverage. It'll be 3rd down.
So you see some of these other coaches. You see Paul Johnson, he calls with nothing. You see Lane Kiffin on the left. He's got this huge play call sheet. Now, a lot of that is going to be about field position, area of the field, 3rd and +7, 3rd and -7, all those different things. That's just not how Dana does it.
Howard in trouble, gets outside the pocket and throws it away. Good defensive stand by TCU. Sammy Douglas chasing the quarterback. And it's 4th down. West Virginia will punt it.
Really one of the few times we've seen Skyler Howard under duress. This offensive line for West Virginia has played very well against a defense that prides themselves in getting after the passer. TCU came in with 22 sacks on the season. 0 so far today.
Billy Kinney, the punter. TCU has all of its timeouts. 5.5 minutes remaining on the clock to try to get more points here, trailing by 11. As Desmond White is wrapped up and dropped at the 24. Good coverage by West Virginia. David Long was down there for the Mountaineers. Maybe Dana's had one too many Red Bulls. Been fired up all game.
My goodness.
I'll give you a hint. It's a blue chip program, all right? So
Blue chip program.
And they had a little bit of a drop in play, but they're back in the top 5 now because of the new coach that they have.
So it's down to 5.
Basically just gave you the answer. Here's Hill, and the pass is pulled in by LSU transfer John Diarse. Gain of 7 on the play. Just watching Hill, you go back to a couple of years ago when he was at A&M, and again, I know he had the play against Arkansas earlier this year that may have cost him the game, but he's matured. And Gary Patterson has said that to us, and he rewarded Hill by naming him a captain today. They have game captains at TCU. It's the first time that Hill was named captain. 2nd and 3, they run. Hicks, he's got the first down. Gets away from a defender by keeping the feet moving to the 40-yard line, picking up 9.
And Kenny Hill, a very poised young man. He's matured an awful lot. And when things go poorly for him, he doesn't let mistakes compound. He's able to rip off the rearview mirror and move forward. Obviously, tough start today, but he's gotten back on track nicely here as the game's gone on.
Patrick Morris, the left guard, shaken up. Now, you've known Kenny for a long time. You guys went to the same high school. Kenny grew up in a professional sports family with his father, Ken, a Cy Young runner-up, a pitcher in the 90s. He was on the Indian squad that went to the World Series in 1995. Cleveland, of course, back in the World Series. And, as you look back at, Kenny Hill at South Lake 7-8 years ago to where he is now, where do you see the maturity?
You have a look at his dad, clearly throwing's in the family. But he's really grown up a lot. I think obviously the experience at Texas A&M humbled him. Got off to such a good start in his first career game against South Carolina. Then obviously faced some adversity, got a fresh start here in Fort Worth, and trying to make the most of it as he moves forward.
First down at the 40-yard line for Hill and company. Hicks hit at the line of scrimmage. And he got hit low that time by Christian Brown. It's a good tackle by Brown. That's how you got to get Kyle Hicks to the ground. Not going to arm tackle that young man.
Greg, you notice no pressures so far in this series and very few on the last series. Changing things up for this TCU offense in terms of the looks they're giving them.
Doing a good job mixing coverage and blitzes, are they defensively?
Here's Trevoris Johnson trying to find running room. It's not there. Christian Brown again. Al-Rashid Benton, the middle linebacker for West Virginia, was in there. So was Wachuku. This Mountaineer defense flying to the football right now.
Talked a second ago about pressures. I think they'll play coverage here. Don't want to give up a big play. I think they might drop 8. Forced Kenny Hill to read the secondary.
Think about it. They lost 9 starters from last year's team and their best player, Drayvon Henry, to an ACL in camp. They're able to tackle Taj Williams short of the line to gain. It'll be 4th and 2. That's Antonio Crawford, who's filling in for Elijah Battle. Would love to break that glass and run onto the field right now. As he watches it from the end zone, he was ejected for targeting. TCU has a decision to make, but elects to punt the ball here. Good job by Crawford to transfer from Miami to make that play in the open field to force the kick.
Crawford's been targeted twice already. They recognize that he hasn't played quite as much, obviously, as Battle and some of the other guys in the secondary, even though he's a senior.
Nunez going to angle this one to the near side, and a perfect punt. Goes out of bounds around the 8-yard line. Back-to-back great kicks by the redshirt freshman, Adam Nunez. All right, let's answer today's Aflac trivia question. I'm sure everybody's figured this out by now. Basically,
quarterback in the NFL is their coach. I'm going to go with Michigan. Top 5 team.
Yeah, good guess.
Blue chip.
had a period where they were struggling, and then they hired a coach to get them back. It is amazing. It really is when you think about it. Now, Jim Harbaugh to come from the NFL back to college to his alma mater with all the expectations. I mean, they are blowing teams out in the Big Ten. Their only close game was a Wisconsin game a couple years ago, and that's a really good team.
Yeah, Wisconsin is really tough. And they kept it close, but Michigan answered the bell.
First down to the 8-yard line. West Virginia running shell. He's past the 15-yard line. And to the 20. The 12-yard run. That's twice now that TCU has had West Virginia backed up, and the Mountaineers have just owned them at the line of scrimmage, running the ball to move the chains.
West Virginia loves long drives. They've had a million of them, it feels like, but no, they've had 10 this year that have gone for 80 plus, and over 2 minutes left to play here in the first half. Just going to run their offense. They're a quick strike group, so no need to change what they're doing offensively.
You mentioned the 10 drives of 80 yards or more for touchdowns. How about 3 of 90 yards or more? And this one started on the 8-yard line. Howard looking, going to air it out in traffic, and it's caught. Oh my goodness, what a catch by Durant at midfield.
Wow. Not the best decision I've ever seen.
Oh my goodness.
Throwing into double coverage.
He backhanded that.
What a catch. Skyler Howard needs to buy Durant some lunch.
So Shorts make a great catch in the first quarter. Now it's Durant trying to set up the screen here. Dumping it off to McCoy, who could not hang on. It's incomplete. Sammy Douglas with the hit. Forced the ball out.
Greg, so much for don't throw late over the middle.
Yeah, in a double coverage. Don't take chances in the last 2 minutes. All the things go out the window when you have receivers that are able to make catches like that. Look at it one more time. My goodness.
There's a penalty marker down. But you need to have plays like that happen to have a special season, right? I mean, you've been a part of them at Alabama, and I'm sure you can recall having moments like that. Things just go right.
Ineligible receiver downfield on the pass. Offense, number 62. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
The right guard, Kyle Bosch.
It's a good call by the officials. West Virginia trying to get a screen. Nothing there originally. The linemen don't know that. They're running downfield trying to find somebody to block. And Gary Patterson pointed out to the officials how far downfield those offensive linemen were. With the ball traveling past the line of scrimmage, it should result in a 5-yard penalty.
Minute 31 on the clock. Mountaineers will run the ball. Here's McCoy, nowhere to go. It was Traven Howard and Aaron Curry teaming up on the tackle.
Here, West Virginia fans.
I think they're going a little faster here, Greg.
A little upset. They have 3 timeouts.
That's not it. They want a targeting call.
That's what they want. They're not going to get it, though.
All right, let's go to Cassidy in the studio while we have a moment.
Thanks, Dave. Back to Tuscaloosa, tied up 13-0 after a huge 4th down run by Trevor Knight. The Aggies QB finds Josh Reynolds. Great concentration on the catch. Much more on this game at halftime with Stan and the crew. It's 13-7, Bama in the second. Dave, Greg?
So A&M back in the game in Tuscaloosa. Here, West Virginia in command with the ball near midfield.
We were asking why West Virginia is not really playing all that fast. Don't really have to. When you have a quick strike offense, you're sitting at 2nd and 15, tough spot to be in. I don't think the tempo needs to go through the roof, because a couple incompletions can give the ball back to TCU, and they have 3 timeouts at their disposal as well. You can be smart with the clock in the Big 12 because of how good the offenses are at just about every single spot.
Well, they've run 26 plays, and they're averaging 8 yards a play. So quick strike, and they're getting yardage in chunks. 4 passing plays of 20 yards or more, 2 rushing plays of 10 yards or longer. 2nd and 15. They're going to run McCoy, and again stood up, but keeps the feet moving to at least get a couple of yards. James McFarland, Ty Summers there for TCU.
TCU's going to burn a timeout here, seeing that it's 3rd and long.
Smart there.
Trying to get another possession.
All right, so we talked at the outset, and I asked you if West Virginia is for real. You said that they are, and there's really nothing we've seen so far in this game to lead us to believe anything different, right?
They're very balanced. They're really good on the defensive side of the football. They love to dictate. The secondary was a concern coming into the season. They've played very well today, even against a good high-powered passing attack at TCU. And then offensively, look at the way they're running the football. They've been effective, averaging 8 yards a play to this point. I think this team, they can beat you in a lot of different ways, and they came out ready to go today in their early going.
The guy who's impressed me the most is Howard. 3 touchdown passes for Skyler Howard in this game. He's got 11 on the season. Only 4 interceptions. See how he does here in 3rd and 13 with a play clock at 2. And it's going to be a quarterback run for Howard, and he's got the first down inside the 40-yard line.
Now you can expect to see a little tempo. It's Virginia. Great play call there by Dana Holgerson to get his quarterback in space.
Bad defense, though. I mean, don't you have to think that might be coming there? I mean, there's nobody in the middle of the field that time. Howard with time, now in trouble. Just shoves a D lineman out of the way and picks up about 6 or 7. That was Aaron Curry that had pressure. Howard's only 207, but the guy that was 307 was on the ground.
Pretty good stiff arm there by the quarterback. I like Skyler Howard. He's got a good feel. It's the ball out of his hand, very quick. Very capable runner, accurate, and improving as a leader every single day. They say that's the one thing that it took some time for him to get used to, is stepping up in that regard, and that's a big reason why they're 5-0.
On 2nd and 6, pressure off the edge. Howard steps up and wrapped up at the line of scrimmage by Aaron Curry. The Mountaineers need to call a timeout here, and they will. 28 seconds left. And this could be a problem here for West Virginia because their field goal kicking unit has struggled this year. Mike Molina's long is 34, and they already tried a 47-yarder earlier and missed it. And right now it'd be 51-52.
Missed the first one bad left too, so definitely need to think about 4-down territory possibly.
All right, let's take a look at this week's college football rankings brought to you by Northwestern Mutual. The Mountaineers are 12th. Looking at the top 5, A&M and Alabama, and a good one, Michigan just destroying Illinois. Ohio State and Penn State tonight looking for 21 consecutive road wins. Clemson is off. Boy, Louisville hammered NC State today. And how about Purdue leading in Lincoln? The Badgers with the nice win at Iowa today.
Purdue in their first game without their head coach, Darrell Hazel.
Howard 1 of 4 on 3rd down. The one was pretty good. It was a touchdown. He's in trouble here, and he just throws it away. It was Josh Caraway who tracked down Skyler Howard, who was outside the pocket, got it back, crossed the line of scrimmage. Well, wait, a flag is thrown though. Boy, I thought he was outside the pocket that time.
I think the ball got to the line of scrimmage.
The quarterback was out of the pocket. The pass did not make the line of scrimmage. Intentional grounding. Offense, number 3.
Let's take a look again. I thought initially it did cross the line of scrimmage,
and
but
by rule, this illegal pass caused a running clock to stop, and it requires a 10-second runoff. To avoid the 10-second runoff, West Virginia will call a timeout. 30 seconds.
But now it's 4th down. So they avoid the 10-second runoff with a penalty, but now it's 4th down. Hold on. Now let's see here. Caraway is chasing. And now it doesn't get back. You're right.
Dana Holgerson was upset right there. The officials said they're going to spend a timeout to avoid the 10-second runoff.
And the clock will start on my signal.
But clearly, in this situation, they want there to be as little time as possible.
Yes, you want the runoff. Save your timeout, right?
Absolutely.
So 12 seconds left. It's 4th and 23. Although you got to punt the ball. Why is your offense on the field?
The clock's going to start.
The penalty is 4th and 23. Ball at the 50.
There's some discussion going on here too. And now the clock will start on the ready. And West Virginia will take a timeout now.
Yep. And now they'll get the punt team out there.
Dana Holgerson is so upset with his officiating crew, and it's not just right now in terms of the official assuming they'd take the timeout. He's been on this crew on the sideline the entire first half.
Yeah, I think he's mad because the official, maybe, at least he thinks, and we're trying to guess here, didn't give him the information about that they would restart the clock.
I'm thinking he's probably wanted to allow it to run down to 3-4 seconds and maybe heave one towards the end zone.
Yeah, maybe he was taken off guard, and that's why he called the timeout right away instead of waiting. Or don't even use the timeout, just let the clock run out then.
Tom, see if you can go ask him what he was trying to tell us.
Sure, he'd be glad right now to answer that.
You know what? I think he's going to be thrilled to talk to me at halftime. I got to be honest with you.
He is very vocal right now. And they're going to send the punt team out.
But again, I think he just let the clock run out, let the half end. We've seen crazy things happen. 10 or fewer seconds in a game and punts. Kenny gets rid of it. TCU did not have a return man down there. And the Mountaineers with good coverage, and that will end the half. So West Virginia led 14-0. Got 2 quick takeaways, but Gary Patterson stayed positive. Team not out of it. Back within 11, despite those early mistakes. Skyler Howard, 3 touchdown passes for West Virginia. Let's check him with Tom.
Coach, what are you so upset with there at the end of that first half?
Well, some of that stuff I can't talk about, Tom. We're just obviously trying to get some points there. Didn't agree with a couple of things that happened out there, but we got out. At least we didn't get give them the ball back.
Some passion from you throughout the entire first half, but some frustration as well at times with the offense. What are you not seeing that you got to get out of this group?
Well, I'm just routine plays more than anything. I mean, that's a frustrating defense to go against. They're pretty good against the run. We pride ourselves in trying to run the ball, so we're going to have to regroup and come back out in the second half, try to run the ball, and then take advantage of some big plays as well.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Okay.
West Virginia does get the football to start the second half. And we will send you back to the college football studio after these messages.
Welcome back. Dr. Pepper Championship Drive Game of the Week.
West Virginia looking to stay unbeaten, leads TCU 21-10 at halftime. Skyler Howard, this is arguably the biggest game he's played in, as West Virginia is trying to go 6-0 for the first time since 2006. But also, he's from Fort Worth, and he was not recruited at all by TCU. Greg, he was terrific in that first half.
Very good performance to this point. He's really made a lot of throws down the field, too. Been very accurate. TCU has been trying to play with very wide safeties. That does give you some room up the middle of the field. He took a shot here to Shorts. Shorts went up and made a great play. And here's the throw of the day so far. A couple plays later, you have Gibson finding the middle of the field. He's been extremely accurate when throwing it down the field. You see, on 11 yards or more attempts, he's 3 for 3 for a boatload of yards. A lot of things underneath, too, so he's putting it in a good spot, allowing his receivers to run after the catch as well.
2 of his 8 completions were hope throws, where guys just made incredible grabs, but those are the kind of things you need to have happen if you want to get to 6-0. And then people start talking about you as a playoff contender, as this one will sail through the end zone for a touchback. West Virginia will start on the 25 as we look at our Pacific Life game summary. It was an awful start early for TCU. How about a fumble on the opening kickoff that West Virginia turned into a touchdown? And then Kenny Hill throws a pick, but they miss a 47-yard field goal. Howard with the 3 passing touchdowns, tying a career high. And the Mountaineers lead by 11 as we start the third quarter. Russell Shell in the backfield. He had 59 yards on 9 carries. And they're going to give it to Shell on the delay. Behind his blockers out to the 30. Here's Tom.
Well, speaking with Gary Patterson, he was very matter-of-fact about the first half. He put the onus of the responsibility on the third touchdown for West Virginia on himself, calling a zone blitz that he knew he shouldn't have called. And then very simply, he said, we've got to cover the screen game better. Aside from that, I like how our team's playing. I asked him about the penalties and the turnovers in the first half. He said you can't win with it.
That's been the problem all year, Tom, for TCU. While they're 4-2. Pass to Gibson is a first down to the 37 with Traven Howard in coverage. That's the 9th completion of the day for Howard.
I always thought the first possession of the second half might be the most important possession in the entire game. You make your adjustments, you see what the other team's doing and what they changed at halftime. And if you can go out and get some points, your likelihood of winning the game is extremely high. So West Virginia needs to put one together here.
And what TCU does well is almost negated in this game. They get after the quarterback, 22 sacks in the year, 7th in the country. But because Howard gets it out of his hands so quickly, it's hard to get there. Howard stepping up, and they got pressure that time, but Howard, pretty athletic, got out of there. Spilled by Traven Howard at the 43. A 6-yard pickup for Howard.
Time a good job by TCU. Nothing open downfield. Skylar Howard recognizing that, not forcing a bad decision and escaping north and south to set up a second and manageable.
Howard changing things up here for 2nd down and 4. And it's true freshman Kennedy McCoy brought down for no gain by James McFarland and Aaron Curry. Gary Patterson changed his shirt at halftime. Now this worked in the Alamo Bowl last year. It was good luck. He changed his shirt. They were down 31-0. They come back and beat Oregon. So he says, you know what? Our season on the brink here. We want to win the Big 12. We got to win this game. I'm doing it again.
Why not? If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? I guess that first half shirt wasn't going the way he wanted it to.
His defense trying to get off the field here on 3rd down and 4 as that pass is caught on the sideline by White at the 34-yard line. That is 3 fantastic catches by West Virginia receivers in this game.
Great catch. And look at that right foot. Secured the ball all the way through to the ground. Standing body control.
They go back to the ground and Shell ripped down after a 2-yard gain by Chris Bradley. But man, these receivers for West Virginia, Shorts, Gibson, White are pretty good. Now Karan White, he's the younger brother of Kevin White, who starred here at West Virginia. His NFL career has been stalled because of injuries. But this is a good group the Mountaineers have.
Deep group too, versatile, can do a lot of different things.
2nd and 10. And in trouble. Ball thrown up for grabs. It's caught again. Only a short gain for Durant, but still another great catch as the quarterback Howard was being chased.
It's not one I'd want to do a whole lot if I'm Skylar Howard. Getting grabbed and almost thrown down, throwing it up for grabs. Good job by Durant. Going high and making the play.
West Virginia's been great on 3rd down. This is 3rd and 7 out in space to Shell. Makes the defender miss and gets the first down. Now the Mountaineers on 3rd down are making it happen. They're 4 of 8. Again, bad defense by TCU.
Poor tackling. TCU has always been outstanding defensively. This year, they've missed an awful lot of tackles. Right there, had them stopped, had it bottled up, had everything you wanted. Just poor execution with the defender going in out of control and missing the tackle.
Right, because then you're off the field. You got a field goal kicker that struggled coming on the field as they run it here on 1st down to McCoy. Short gain of 2. And again, Dana Holgerson told us anything outside of 45 yards he's not going to attempt. Now, they did try a 47-yarder in the first quarter and missed it.
Got some towels blocking the signals that he's making to the offense. Probably because on the other side, there's some guys that are very familiar with this offense, and Sonny Cumbie and Doug Meacham.
West Virginia may have to burn a timeout here. as the center judge pulls the quarterback back with a play clock winding down. They do get the play away. It's play action. Howard stops, throws, batted down. Oh, dangerous pass. L.J. Collier got a piece of it.
It's a good job by the center judge right there. I know the people in the stands are a little upset. You hear the boo birds chirping just a little bit. But when West Virginia makes a substitution, the defense must also have that opportunity. Hold the snap, make sure the defense doesn't want to change anything up. It's a good job, good execution by the official.
Another chance for TCU to get off the field, and they're offside on 3rd down and 8, a free play. Howard is sacked, but it won't matter. Collier gets there, but Tipa Galii was offside for TCU.
Offside, defense, number 47, 5-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
Galii's got a bright future. Just got a little excited right there. In for James McFarland. Then jumped off sides, giving them a much more manageable 3rd down. Can't make that mistake if you're TCU's defense.
It's the difference between sophomore discipline and senior discipline.
6th penalty of the day on TCU. So 3rd and 3 now at the 16-yard line. They got Howard under center. We haven't seen this today. Here's Shell, and he's brought down short of the 1st down. It's 4th down. Nick Orr on the tackle. Again, they've had some issues with the kicking game, although Molina's been pretty good on short yardage. Do you take the points?
Definitely going to go for it here.
They'll go with the same formation. Wellman is the fullback. It's a quarterback sneak with Wellman shoving the quarterback Howard ahead to get the 1st down. Without the push from Wellman, I wonder if he gets that.
Snap. The ruling on the field that the ball carrier was short of the line to gain is under further review.
Wow, so they stopped the previous play under further review, which, Dana Holgerson's upset because his team just got a 1st down, but they're going to have to do it again because he was not past the marker on 3rd down. He clearly was short, but they're going to review this further.
Dana Holgerson is not happy with the officiating. See, the yellow line is not official, but very accurate.
Okay. Yeah, boy, if the yellow line is accurate, then it looked like he got it there. This may actually work out for Holgerson in the end after all.
It looks like it. Need to see where the knee went down. From that angle, it's a little difficult to tell exactly when he was stopped. Take a look at that right knee. He's extending forward.
Is the elbow down?
The elbow's down, but at that point, the ball was already across the line to gain.
And Holgerson's not happy, but he's getting a 1st down either way, it would appear.
I think this is going to be a 1st down. Obviously, you have to have indisputable video evidence. This is probably your best look at it. You can see no part of his body's down until that right elbow hits.
It appeared the official assumed that the leg was down, and that's why he spotted it where he did. Holgerson is still irate. Boy, he seemed like such a happy guy yesterday when we met with him.
He's happy, but he's a competitor, man. Tom, he has certainly experienced a roller coaster of emotions here today with great outcomes and, of course, disappointing ones, especially in dealing with the officials.
Yeah, the Zebras and he have not gotten along overly well.
After further review on the 3rd down play, the ball carrier's forward progress ended inside the 13-yard line. It is a 1st down.
All right, let's go. 1st down.
A lot of people get upset about the length of games in college football. It's for reasons like that. There's no reason to review that. Inches. And I understand, look, there's critical moments that absolutely have to have a second look at. Right there, to stop the game and to delay it over a minute, just not something I agree with.
From the 13-yard line. They hand it off to Shell off the right side, jump cut, and then he slammed to the turf by Broadnax. There is a penalty flag down. 1 yard gain. Flag in the middle of the field.
Holding, offense, number 70, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
It's on Tony Mateo, the left guard for West Virginia. They lost their best offensive lineman in the opener. Yadni Kajust was hurt, but Adam Pankey has come on and played well. They're a veteran group. They got 3 seniors up there. Colton McKivitz, the right tackle's a redshirt freshman. But that line is a big reason why West Virginia is undefeated this year.
Yeah, and their center, Orlowski. If they play 77 snaps of offense today, that 77 snap will be his 3,000th career snap. A lot of veteran leadership up front.
Out of the pistol on 1st and 20. Here's Shell inside the 20. And down to the 17-yard line. It's a 6-yard run. Denzel Johnson on the tackle.
Fellas, we're going on close to a 7-minute drive here. If it gets down to it and they're not able to convert or score a touchdown with the time that West Virginia's taking the clock out, they got to kick a field goal here when there's a discussion about it.
Yeah, play 13 of this drive coming up, 2nd and 14. Play action for Howard. In trouble, throws it away. He looked like he was in the pocket, and here comes a flag. Didn't appear to leave the pocket there. Pressure by McFarland. We had a grounding call earlier. Late in the 2nd quarter on Howard.
Having a discussion as to whether or not he did in fact leave the tackle box.
And this would be huge for TCU because it's a loss of down, and if again you get to 4th down with Holgerson lacking confidence in Molina's distance.
Back to the review, though. I mean, look at the momentum now that has been seized. I mean, West Virginia's marching. They have a review.
Yep.
Completely slows them down. Now there's going to be a intentional grounding penalty.
Well, and Greg, they would have, had they pushed forward with the quarterback sneak, you know they would have gone hurry up to the line and tempo.
There is no foul for an eligible player downfield. However, the quarterback was in the pocket under duress and threw the ball to an area where there was no receiver. Intentional grounding. Offense, number 3. Loss of down is spotted a foul. It's 3rd down.
That is a huge penalty on West Virginia.
Nothing going. He's under duress. Starts to his left. Moves back to the right.
Easy
that was
call.
Definitely in the tackle box. It's a good call by the officials. I just wish that it wouldn't take as much time as it does to get these calls correct.
I don't know. In that situation, though, you want to be sure, and you have a conversation with several officials. You got to look, first of all, is there a receiver in the area? Did he get it past the line of scrimmage? And was he outside the tackle box? I get that one. I agree with you on the review, though. Earlier was unnecessary. 3rd down and 22. Howard throwing short. It's White, and he's brought down at the 21. You see that field goal target line. It would be about 38 or 39, and they've got to try it here because it's 4th down and forever. Molina's miss from 47. His long in the year is 34. But that's a big stop for TCU, aided by the penalty. But as Tom pointed out, almost 7.5 minutes off the clock. Molina with a season-long 38-yard field goal to push it to a 14-point lead. And they take half of the quarter to get down the field and get 3 points. The season, both in number of plays and time of possession. 15 plays, 7 minutes, 36 seconds off the clock. They get 3 points, and now TCU has to score at least 2 touchdowns. Certainly they're capable of that, but this West Virginia defense pretty good. Mountaineers give up fewer than 20 points per game in the season. They've held TCU to 10 so far. Fielded on the 5-yard line by Gray. Running the long way. Wrapped up at the 20-yard line. Marvin Gross there on special teams for West Virginia. Mountaineer fans hoping for 6-0. They're up 14.
College football presented by K Jewelers. Brought to you by the all-new Honda Ridgeline for truck-tough things and everyday things. And Courtyard, official hotel of the NFL.
Dave Pash, Greg McElroy, Tom Luganville back in Morgantown. Well, going into week 1, Oklahoma-Houston, it seemed like a certainty the Big 12 was going to expand and that Houston would be part of the expansion as Kyle Hicks bounces it to the outside and has a first down, still going all the way to the 37. Great run by Hicks. But the Big 12 announced this week it will not expand. And these are the two youngest members of the conference, West Virginia and TCU, joining 5 years ago. What do you think, Greg?
I disagree with it. I look at Houston. I look at BYU, Cincinnati. Would have made a lot of sense to expand to 12 or 14. To continue to increase the quality of football that's played in this conference.
Bob Bowlesby, the Big 12 commissioner, is here. Well, we talked with Gary Patterson about that this week, and he said, look, there are people that didn't want us in the Big 12. So I think that was his way of saying, I understand why the Big 12 didn't expand, because they didn't want us 5 years ago. They were in the Big East for a heartbeat with West Virginia. On 2nd and 7, one-on-one coverage. Hill's pass is incomplete. Taj Williams had it knocked away. Antonio Crawford filling in for Battle, who was ejected in the first half for targeting, makes the play.
Nice play. Late undercut on a skinny post. That's not easy to do. Crawford breaking it up down the field. Made it look easy. It's an important third down for TCU here.
They've only got one third down conversion in the ball game. Pressure coming. Hill's pass off the mark, intended for Williams. Crawford in coverage again, and TCU will have to punt the football.
This West Virginia defense, can't say enough good things about them. Pressures, mixing up looks, tight coverage in the back end. Having a look at Tony Gibson right there. He makes it hard on quarterbacks, man. His team's playing very well for him here tonight.
They've held TCU to 228 yards of total offense and 1 of 7 on third down. Nunez off the side of his foot and out of bounds around the 35-yard line. Only a 25-yard punt by TCU. Hasselbeck, Randy Moss take you right up to kickoff. West Virginia leads TCU 24-10 as we continue Dr. Pepper's championship drive game of the week. The Mountaineer defense has been the story this year, and now the running game trying to get going offensively. Shell breaking a tackle and picking up 12 to the 45. The first 7 drives West Virginia ran only 30 plays. Their last drive took half of the third quarter. They went 15 plays and got a field goal.
Trying to get that running game going. And you see they're huddling up too. I mean, West Virginia, the air raid, Tom, usually you're seeing it all wide open.
Right.
The way this defense is playing, though, they want to take some of the pressure off and have long, time-consuming drives.
They're playing to the strengths of his football team, which is running the football first, coming off of it in the controlled passing game.
Play fake for Howard. Steps up in the pocket, takes off across the 45. Tried to take on a defender, and Howard bounces right off of Traven Howard and got more yardage into TCU territory. Boy, Howard running the football. Last week he had over 400 yards of total offense, was Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week. He's going to be a candidate for the award again at this rate.
Playing very well, decisive with the football, knowing when to run it, knowing when to throw it, and being accurate when he does throw it.
Shell Straight ahead on 2nd and 4. Will be wrapped up just shy of the marker by Sammy Douglas. It'll bring up 3rd down, and at some point TCU has to make a stop. They haven't done it. They've given up too much on 1st down. To win this game, somebody has to make a play defensively for this group.
TCU, that's always been the backbone of their team. It's almost impossible to run the football on them. This year it hasn't been the case.
Quarterback sneak coming, you know it, and trying to move the pile. Again, you see Wellman with a little bit of a shove to the back of Howard. It's going to be close at the 45-yard line. And it is a 1st down for the Mountaineers. Let's go to the studio.
Thanks, Dave. We got a game in Tuscaloosa. Aggies up 14-13 after 2 straight scores, but the Tide regained the lead after this Jalen Hurts to Calvin Ridley connection. Bama up 20-14 in the 3rd. Dave, Greg, back to you.
Nice design there by Lane Kiffin. On that play, Greg.
Very nice design. Calvin Ridley out in the flat.
So it is a 1st down for the Mountaineers at the 45 of TCU. Almost 50% on 3rd downs in this game. Shell knocked down in the backfield. It is rare that we've seen negative plays in West Virginia on 1st down, but McFarland was back there along with Curry. A 2-yard loss.
Look at the positive, though, here, Greg. You've got plus territory. The clock's running. You've owned the 3rd quarter. And at the end of this, if it ends in a kick, you're going to maintain field position advantage.
Got a problem with something in the face mask. It looks like of Curry. They're trying to get the helmet off. Oh, what is going on? I mean, you even have a West Virginia player in there trying to help out. If something got in the helmet of Aaron Curry, they finally got the helmet off.
My goodness.
Guys, I'm watching them take him off the field right now. He was getting choked either with his chin strap and could not breathe. And you see him gasping for air right now walking off the field.
Wow, that's scary. I can't say I've seen that.
I've never seen that.
No, me neither.
Thank goodness he's okay and they were able to get the helmet off.
Yeah, he was in a panic.
Wow. So L.J. Collier is in the game, replacing him here. TCU maybe bringing pressure here on 2nd and 11. Here's Howard in the pocket, gets good protection. A beautiful throw to Shorts. He stays in bounds to the 29-yard line, picking up 17. Again, Skylar Howard on the money. Let's go back, though, to that previous play here and see Aaron Curry trying to get that helmet off.
You see the chin strap is right on his throat. It seemed to have gotten tightened and wouldn't loosen.
Howard off a play fake. Gonna throw it into the end zone, and it is caught, but out of bounds. McCoy caught it out of the back of the end zone with Howard in coverage. McCoy a little shaken up.
Just ran out of room and couldn't secure it all the way through to the ground. See that left foot clearly out, and then the ball is jarred loose.
Guys, Gary Patterson right now is laying into his defensive front about rushing the quarterback, not happy with their inability to get to Skylar Howard and allow him to extend plays and take a shot down into the end zone.
He's been sacked 3 times, but 2 of which were on intentional grounding. They just haven't been able to get home against a good West Virginia offensive line.
Shell running right, bouncing off of a tackler, shoving a defender, Traven Howard, to the ground. He stepped out after a short gain, so 3rd and long. And again, if you're TCU, this is a must-stop situation because West Virginia is probably out of field goal range. Based on what Dana Holgerson told us yesterday anyway with his kicker Mike Molina. Look at Howard's numbers on 3rd down. He's been great. He's been great on 1st and 2nd down too.
It's all about 3rd down though. Now, 3rd down and red zone efficiency. It's the 2 most important stats for offensive football here in 2016.
Howard to throw on 3rd and long. Over the middle, caught by Shorts, and it's another 1st down for West Virginia. That's just pitch and catch. Great protection. A clean pocket for Howard.
Great job by Shorts, too. TCU opting to go with a little zone, finding the open area, and his quarterback delivered a strike.
And a penalty marker down as West Virginia was going up tempo that time.
Full start. Offense, number 57. 5-yard penalty. First down.
It's on Adam Pankey, the left tackle. But West Virginia has had the ball basically the entire quarter. TCU's had it for 1:14. And how about that in the first half? West Virginia had it for almost as long as they've had it this entire third quarter.
That takes its toll on a defense, too. And an offense, too, because you just can't get into much of a rhythm when you don't get back out there on the field.
Design quarterback run on 1st and 15. Howard brought down at the 15. Again, that time of possession of the first half is a little skewed because they had the short field a couple times because of turnovers by TCU.
Very methodical drive.
Greg, you look at Gary Patterson and this TCU defense right now. They're struggling to get their calls in. The pace is affecting them. A lot of guys with their hands up to the sideline saying, hey, what are we in, coach?
2nd and 9, play fake for Howard. Flushed out of the pocket. Howard throws into the end zone. A diving attempt. Did he get it? He did! Karan White with another incredible touchdown catch. These receivers for the Mountaineers may be among the best in the country. Wow.
Goes down. Make sure he secured the catch. That angle tells me that his hands are underneath the ball.
And who's he throwing to? I mean, there's two West Virginia players right there.
That's one when you come back and watch the film tomorrow, you say, I was throwing it to White, even though maybe deep down, might have been throwing it to the other guy.
The ruling on the field of a touchdown is under further review.
Devontae Mathis was the other receiver, but man, how many great catches have we seen in this game by West Virginia receivers?
Several.
That's 4 touchdown passes for Skyler Howard if it stands, which I think it will. And a potential backbreaker for TCU.
Just a great throw.
We're being told they're also looking to see if White stepped out of bounds and then came back in and was the first player to touch the football.
There's White. Looks as though that left foot is in bounds the entire time. Got to review all aspects of the play. Remember, it has to be indisputable video evidence in order to overturn. I think this play is going to stand.
After further review, the ruling on the field of a touchdown is confirmed.
So the video said, indeed, clearly it was a catch, and he didn't step out, and that is the 4th different receiver to catch a touchdown pass from Skyler Howard today. Karan White, older brother Kevin, starred here a couple years ago. For the point after. 16 minutes away from a 6-0 start for West Virginia. They lead by 21. Inside access, watch his head coach Dana Holgerson dropping dimes, throwing steak to his son Logan, and Logan catching it with his teeth. He's a quarterback currently at Morgantown High School. Shows he can be a good receiver, too.
I'll say.
Dana can still sling it.
Pretty good throw. I didn't see him move much. Dana must have thrown a perfect steak toss there. Looks like a pretty nice backyard also.
Short kickoff taken on the 5-yard line by Deontay Gray. And Gray is up to the 25. Fumble the ball again. The second time he's done that on a kickoff. And it's West Virginia ball. Another takeaway by the Mountaineers on special teams. Shane Commodore with the recovery for West Virginia.
Just poor ball security there. Balls dangling around Gray's belt.
How about Commodore forced it and then went and got it?
Went and got it. That's great hustle.
This just isn't TCU's day. Shell picked up and dropped by Lewis. Minimal gain. Man, look at the second half possessions for West Virginia compared to the first half.
They're really eating that clock. The ground game's getting going some. Skylar Howard is the guy that's making it go, though, and that offensive line has answered the challenge at halftime, controlling the line of scrimmage.
On 2nd and 9, Howard to the air. Has time to the sideline and through the hands of White. That would have been a great catch. That's the first time in a while we've seen a West Virginia receiver not pull a ball in. And Howard on the day only has 6 incompletions, and again, he talked about the grounding calls earlier.
That was his 7th right there. Had a few inaccurate throws, but for the most part, this receiving crew really bailed him out on a few different occasions. This is an impressive group. It's not one that they really feature. Every single one of those wideouts can beat you.
Howard off of a play fake on 3rd and 9, in trouble, sacked back at the 43-yard line. That was a huge play by Matt Boson. The Horned Frogs needed that. Yet they go to the 4th quarter, trailing by 21. West Virginia in command of this game. 4 touchdown passes by Skylar Howard. We'll return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Start of the 4th quarter in Morgantown with Greg McElroy, Tom Luganville. I'm Dave Pasch. West Virginia 5-0 on the season, 2-0 in the Big 12. And in command of this game, 31-10. So cliche, but so true. They have done it in every phase of the game. Offense, defense, special teams. Right on cue. Perfect punt. And excellent coverage by Nana Kyram. So TCU backed up inside its 5.
TCU's got to get something going here. Obviously down 3 scores, touchdowns that is. That goes without saying. But they got to mix some run pass. No need to press the panic button. No need to deviate from what you do. You got to start thinking tempo. Every second counts here in the next 14 minutes and 52 seconds.
It's the largest lead West Virginia has had going into a 4th quarter this season. Had some close calls this year. Maybe their most complete performance, though, today. And they shut the Horned Frogs down again. Hill out of the end zone, throws complete to a diving Daniel Walsh, just shy of a first down. That'll help a little bit. And they almost have to go the length of the field and score here to have any chance to win this game. Probably scoring every time they get the football to have a chance. Hill double clutching and completing it to Jalen Austin. First down to the 20.
Expect to see some tempo now. TCU gets a first down, no longer backed up. Now it's time to start picking up the pace a little bit.
Here's Hicks, nowhere to go, and a flag down as Hicks is dropped in the backfield by Kaiser White. We talked about Karan White.
Holding. Offense, number 70. The penalty is declined. Second down.
Talked about Karan White on offense, Kaiser White on defense. And again, both younger brothers of former Mountaineer Kevin White. All 3 went to Lackawanna Junior College in Pennsylvania before coming to West Virginia.
3 brothers can play some football, man. Kaiser White He's been outstanding this year. Very consistent. Plays that spur position, just kind of a hybrid. He does a nice job for him.
Holgerson is having a conversation with the officials down here.
At the penalty, at the distance of the goal, repeat first down.
So Dana Holgerson changed his mind. Well, you think of what Holgerson has been through here. Remember, he gets hired as the offensive coordinator. The late Bill Stewart was the head coach at the time. And there was some stuff going on behind the scenes, some he said as to, whether Dana Holgerson was doing things differently than Bill Stewart wanted. Didn't get a lot of people that were behind Holgerson when he got the head coaching job, and then they started losing games, and more people piled on. But it seems like now people in Morgantown are finally starting to get on the Holgerson bandwagon, and it may be just in time as they take down the quarterback for a sack. Wachuku, and they haven't signaled yet whether it was in the end zone or out.
On the field is at the quarterback's forward.
It was out of the end zone.
On the field is at the quarterback's forward progress is ended inside the 1 yard line. It's second down.
That's close.
Well, the entire ball has to be across the goal line, and it did look like he actually reached it out and got all of it over that time before he got pulled down.
Very aware, but a good job up front. This West Virginia defense, man. Big 12's known for offense, but defense is what wins championships.
Look out here on 2nd and 29. They run, and Hicks gets out of the end zone, but another penalty flag. Half the distance to the goal would be about a millimeter.
Holding offense number 70. The penalty is declined. Third down.
Yeah, need to decline that. The yardage doesn't help you. How about, again, Holgerson? There's so much talk about maybe him being fired. And if they win this game at 6-0, I know it's early, but there's going to be some Coach of the Year discussion in the Big 12 anyway.
There should be. He's done a great job with this team. It's a veteran group. They play really well together, both offensively and defensively.
3rd and 21. Hill steps up to run across the 10. And Hill, he gets creamed by Douglas at the 23 to force a punt here on 4th down.
Good tackle in the open field right there. Sewell Douglas. One of their better cover guys there. They can play in the run game too. 3rd and long. This defense, man, they are fun to watch. As a former quarterback, when I put on this tape, watching their blitzes, watching their pressures, makes me glad I'm not playing anymore. These guys can play here in Morgantown.
They've held TCU to 10 points in this game. One of the most potent offenses in the country shut down. Full control of this game. Leading by a score of 31-10. 4 touchdown passes for Howard. 3 turnovers by TCU. 2 by the same guy on the same play. Basically, Deontay Gray turning it over twice on kickoff returns. The Mountaineers have the ball again. 1st down on the 33. They'll run Shell off the left side. He gets a couple. We talked at the outset of the telecast how in 2012, when West Virginia started 5-0, they got to number 5 in the country and they lost 5 in a row. They lost to Texas Tech by 35 in Game 6. This year, 5-0. I asked you at the start of the game, okay, are they for real? You said yes, and they proved it with the way they played today. I guess the next question is, are they real enough to contend for a playoff spot? They're certainly good, but are they good enough to be in consideration for the top 4?
They are, and a lot of people weren't convinced until last week. Go on the road to Texas Tech, hold that high-powered offense to only 17 points. You followed up with a performance defensively today that has been outstanding. Another high-powered offense. The Horned Frogs have only scored 10 today. Look, I know it's a backloaded schedule, and things are going to get tougher for West Virginia as they move forward, starting next week when they travel to Stillwater. But if they're sitting there at season's end, 11-1, 12-0, winners of the Big 12, they absolutely deserve to be in the conversation for the top four.
Howard to the air on 3rd down and 7, in trouble, and sacked by Tejada. That will force a punt. You mentioned Oklahoma State on the road next week. And in November and December, maybe the 2 hardest games on the schedule are here. Oklahoma and Baylor. Texas lost today to Kansas State. As you said, it's a backloaded schedule, but they've beaten, BYU this year. BYU's played a very difficult schedule, knocked off Missouri. They didn't play cupcakes in September.
Well, they've always been very good when it comes to their out-of-conference scheduling. This is a veteran group. Been in a lot of football games together. You can expect they're going to play some of their best football down the stretch.
It's lit up here in Morgantown. Probably not the only thing that'll be lit up in Morgantown tonight. To Morgantown, where the West Virginia Mountaineers are rolling over TCU 31-10. 9 minutes and 21 seconds away from their first 6-0 start in a decade when they won 11 games under Rich Rodriguez. Pass out on the flat. Diarras is dropped. It's Antonio Crawford again with the stick. Crawford replacing Elijah Battle, who I know he can't play because he was ejected for targeting, but at least the guy that replaced him has come in and done a good job, and he can celebrate with his teammates as he watches the game from the West Virginia weight room, which is in the end zone.
Crawford's played a lot of football. Not at all affected by coming off the bench.
2nd and 13. Hill slides up in the pocket and throws incomplete. The receiver, Graham, may have stepped out anyway before that. The official threw his cap. And penalty flag down.
Ineligible receiver downfield on the pass. Offense number 51. The penalty is declined. It's 3rd down.
That was on Schlottman, but you also had Graham go out of bounds and then come back. Can't be the first guy to touch it.
This down right here has been the reason why TCU is trailing by 21 points. So far today on 3rd down, they're 1 for 8. Their average yards to go on 3rd down, over 9. It's almost an impossible feat against a good defense.
And it's going to be 3rd and 18.
69. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Avion Collins and this crowd having an impact too. This place is still almost full. There have been a few people that have left to get a head start on the evening festivities, but look at this place. They want to celebrate this thing to the end here with their team closing in on its best start since 06. 3rd and 18 for Hill. Throws deep through the hands of one receiver, then almost caught by another. Stewart was off of Porter's hands initially, but it's 4th down. And TCU will have to punt the ball, knowing that on 4th and 18, they're not going to pick it up.
It's been a tough day for TCU. Difficult to be accurate. Had some tough turnovers, especially in the kicking game. It's a young team, though. I think expectations for this team coming in were really, really high, considering there's only 8 seniors on this roster. Even though today wasn't their day, got to assume they're going to have good years to come.
There's a flag down, but Jennings is loose across the 45. Still going. He's not down yet. And finally brought to the ground of the 47. Again, let's see what the penalty flag is for. Back at the 25.
A lot of laundry thrown by these officials today.
No, Greg, you were referencing how young this TCU team is, and when you consider the areas of importance with the roster, they're the youngest in their offensive and defensive front.
Illegal block in the back. Receiving team number 7. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the ball. First down. Time.
8:14 on the clock in the fourth until victory for the Mountaineers. We're showing you this again for a reason. Dana Holgerson to his son Logan. That's a piece of steak traveling about, what, 30 yards?
I'd say 100 yards. That's pretty
100
far.
yards.
Yeah, long way.
So our producer Brian Ryder said, let's make our 3 guys go ahead and do 2 QBs in a pass, catch grapes. And Luganville had no problem doing it and won it.
Just a ridiculous reaction there.
Although, Mac, you did pretty well. You had a nice comeback to tie Luganville.
I had to celebrate as wildly as Luganville did there. It's a good win. I got to be honest, not my favorite 2 QBs in the pass challenge. Catching grapes from 30 feet high.
I felt bad for the 2 of you having lost to me in consecutive weeks throwing actual footballs, that he wanted to have mercy on you guys. But
I got to be honest with you, Dave.
What do you got, Tom?
We cannot accept quitters on this team.
I felt it was unsafe, Tom.
If you're not going to participate and maybe risk a fat lip, you might need to find another crew.
I think a fat lip and a black eye were very realistic possibilities for Dave. He struggled in the one that he did attempt. You bailed out last minute, though. Disappointing effort from you.
Yeah. We got to have better than that.
I didn't want to mess up this face. The 2 of you are already in trouble, so it really didn't matter what happened for both you guys. But I'll get you next week when we get back to actually throwing footballs.
Oh, okay.
Which is what we're supposed to be doing.
Challenged.
2 QBs in a pass. Here's McCoy past the 40. Flag down. McCoy to the 48. Now watch here, okay? I just felt this was unsafe. I gave it a shot and said, you know what? I'm going to hold up a little bit. Alligator arms or alligator mouth.
He didn't even try.
What? Number 56. 10-yard penalty added to the end of the run.
Penalty on Chris Bradley.
It's not your best day in 2 QBs in a pass, pal. I love you.
Meredith and Tennille have both texted me saying they are not going to be doing that for you guys, though. Throwing you guys grapes, okay? Don't get any ideas. Just because it happened on 2 QBs in a pass, don't expect your wives to do that for you at home.
I want steak, though. I want steak thrown like Coach Holgerson was able to throw at his son.
Here's McCoy again, and he's inside the 40 to the 38. So look at the standings again. These are skewed considering that we didn't throw footballs this week because I was getting to McElroy and Luganville. But
you mean because you quit?
Greg is in first with 15 points. Tom in second with 14, and me in the caboose for now.
You did get 1 point for attempting. If you want to call that attempt, I would call it a half-hearted attempt, personally.
Next week, Dave, we're going to tie you to a round board, and we're going to spin you around and throw hatchets.
2nd and 6 for West Virginia, and design quarterback run for Howard. Let's check in with Cassidy in the studio.
Thanks, Dave. A&M and Bama. Keith Ford here will cough up the ball. Jonathan Allen scoops and scores. Alabama with their 12th non-offensive touchdown on the season. They've since tacked on another TD. It's 33-14 now in the fourth. Guys?
Wow. Looked like that was going to be a game for a while, and you look up and it's over in Tuscaloosa.
Alabama defense is so good, so athletic. Capitalize almost every time they get their hands on the football.
And that's Allen's 2nd touchdown this season. And he plays defense. There's Shell, and he's able to move the chains. Keep that clock going, too. They'll stop it to reset the football. Tonight on ABC, the number 2 team in the country in action, JT Barrett and Ohio State at Beaver Stadium, the annual whiteout game, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, Penn State, Ohio State. 2 years ago, the Nittany Lions gave the Buckeyes trouble. Do you see it happening again or no?
I don't. I think last week was a real wake-up call for Ohio State. Obviously went on the road to Madison, didn't have anywhere near their best stuff. JT Barrett, he's up there in the Heisman conversation, but I think his best is yet to come.
Shell running right, breaks a tackle inside the 20. Shell down to the 11-yard line. Tom, are you in agreement with Greg about Ohio State, Penn State tonight?
Yeah, I do. And to be honest with you, I would treat that game last week with Ohio State, Wisconsin like a loss. That's what Alabama did with their game versus Ole Miss. And if you treat it that way, I think you get refocused, you have that edge, and you realize that, hey, listen, you can't take a breath. And I think Ohio State will play outstanding football tonight.
One area where Penn State has struggled in recent years is along the offensive line. I think that group's in for a long night tonight against a deep, talented Ohio State defensive front.
Howard on the keeper and out of bounds at the 10. Ohio State's offense, though, they haven't really gotten going yet. The defense has been good. The offense has been up and down. Again, they're unbeaten and they're still scoring a lot of points, but I don't know that it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be a close game at Penn State tonight. That was a great win last week at Wisconsin. And that's a very good Badger team that won on the road today at Iowa. Here's Shell. Brought down. The clock continues to run. TCU not going to stop it at this point. Down 21, 3.5 to go. Guys, where do the Horned Frogs go from here? They're going to be 4-3. They were ranked 13th going into the regular season. And not only are they going to be out of discussion for the Big 12 championship, you would think, with the 2-2 record, but I mean, look, they still got to go to Baylor. Oklahoma State at home.
Still have to go to Texas. I mean, Texas, I know their record wouldn't indicate it. I would assume they would play TCU very tough at home in a few weeks.
Shell just takes a seat to keep the clock running. And
TCU, though, the way their schedule's set up, they really have 2 3-game seasons remaining. They play 3 weeks. They play this week, obviously. Next week, they're going to play against Texas Tech at home and then travel to Baylor. Then they get another bye week and then finish the season with 3 more. This team's very young. Tom, I think that they are the type of group that could really improve after a bye week. Wasn't the case today, though. Coming off of a bye, came out flat and made way too many mistakes in the kicking game.
Yeah, and I think they got to find out who their leaders are. Who are the guys that are going to rally the troops? Who are the yard dogs? I don't know if they have that established yet with this team.
Timeout taken by West Virginia. They took the clock down, and it'll be 4th down when we come back. Orgeron against the team that he once coached in Ole Miss. Meanwhile, West Virginia going to try a 26-yard field goal, leading 31-10 here in the closing minutes. Continue to get Mike Molina some work. Tough angle here. But it's true, and it's a 24-point lead. Well, it started bad for TCU and kept going. A fumble on the opening kickoff by Deontay Gray. Recovered inside the 20 by West Virginia, and then a touchdown pass to make it 7-0. Then a pick by Hill. And here's Gray's second fumble on a kickoff that led to another West Virginia touchdown. Skyler Howard, the reigning Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week, might win the award in consecutive weeks. 4 touchdown passes, no interceptions. Now his rushing yards say 4 yards, but he had some terrific runs. He was sacked 5 times, but he made some very smart plays in the run game. You can see why Dana Holgorsen told us yesterday it's the best team he's had at West Virginia.
They just really complement each other. If the run game's not going, the passing game will pick it up. If the offense isn't clicking on all cylinders, the defense, they've been consistent for a majority of the season. These last couple weeks, though, against Texas Tech last week and then against TCU here tonight, all 3 phases have been playing well, and it goes to show you why this is a very scary team. And they're only going to get better, in my opinion.
That's a touchback. The official blew it dead. And then Darius Anderson took it out of the end zone. I think he wasn't sure there whether it was a touchback initially.
Placing his knee on the ground, and by rule, that causes the ball to become dead. It is a touchback.
Yeah, whether you put your knee or down doesn't matter. If you simulate it, you're down. So it's a touchback. They'll start at the 25-yard line. Gary Patterson letting Anderson know about it right now. Tonight after Ole Miss LSU, it's John Bucci-Gross and Nicole Briscoe with Sports Center at night. Game 6, Dodgers-Cubs. Don't show McElroy the score. All the college football highlights, NFL news, and more. Greg Bean from LA, of course, a big Dodger fan. TCU's streak of 20-point games at 36 in a row going to end the night. Second longest streak in the country behind Oregon. The Ducks are scoring, but they can't stop people. They gave up more than 50 to Cal last night on ESPN, losing double overtime. Hill gets hit, and the pass is incomplete. Boy, this front for West Virginia, they hit Pat Mahomes of Texas Tech 29 times, according to the coaches last week. Hasn't been as often on Kenny Hill, but they've been back there. Again, another reason why this West Virginia team is for real.
Yeah, they really affect quarterbacks. I mean, Pat Mahomes is outstanding. Kenny Hill, those two guys come in near the top of the Big 12 in passing yardage. Very pedestrian numbers the last 2 weeks put up against this defense.
Olanolua out in the flat. The true freshman with a nice pickup, getting the first down. Baylor is off this week. They're at Texas next week, and you can only imagine the conversation's going to be like over the next 7 days surrounding Charlie Strong. Just kind of following it here while we were on the air, a report that the athletic director said no comment today when asked about Strong. And even though he didn't make a comment, he basically did.
Right. And Charlie Strong, the wins just haven't been there. And look, they have some talent. The problem is that talent is extremely young, particularly at premier positions. It'll be interesting to follow that story as the rest of the season goes on.
Desmond White brought down at the 40-yard line. The same thing happened last year when they beat Oklahoma, kind of like the beginning of this year. They beat somebody that has a name, and everybody says, oh, they're back and they're on the right track.
That team was Notre Dame, and clearly, to this point, they've been found out to be well below average and what we thought they might be coming into the season.
And so is Texas. Hill's pass incomplete.
In my opinion, though, Charlie Strong should not be relieved of his duties.
Why do you say that?
I understand the wins haven't been there, but looking at where the program was when he took over, it was a complete rebuild. Had to change the culture. A lot of youth. He's only 3 years into the process. I don't see how you can pass judgment on a coach only 3 years into his current tenure.
Well, I think number one, because it's Texas, as the shovel pass to Anderson will go for a first down. And I think the other side of this is, yes, it's about Charlie Strong, but I think a lot of it's about Tom Herman. Clearly that is going to be the target for Texas. And now that Houston will not go into the Big 12, and Houston not going to go to the college football playoff, and I don't want to speak for Tom here, but you would have to think that that's something that's going to be intriguing for him and that the Longhorns are going to reach out.
He's going to have his pick of the litter. And we visited with him. We did their game against Oklahoma. He is a big-time coach. And if he does, in fact, leave Houston, wherever he ends up, I think could have a very, very bright future. But the pockets are deep at Houston, and he's got a chance to build something that's similar to Boise State. Texas is one of the best jobs in college football. So if he does get that opportunity, I'd be very surprised if he turned that down.
Jeremy Tyler shaken up, but looks to be okay as he goes to the West Virginia sideline. Mountaineers 55 seconds away from continuing an unbeaten season. Long way to go, but they're halfway home, 6-0 for the first time since 2006. Here's Hill back to throw, and it's incomplete through the hands of Austin. In 2006, West Virginia started 6-0 and finished 11-2. They won the Gator Bowl that year. As we showed you earlier, the schedule is difficult in the sense of the teams they play. Now, their toughest games, Oklahoma and Baylor, are at home. They do have to go to Oklahoma State next week as Hill is wrapped up and sacked by David Long.
This is one of the most hostile environments, though, in the Big 12. I know their toughest games, for the most part, are going to be played near Milan Pushkar Stadium. These fans, they'll be ready to roll when some of those top-level teams come to town.
Oklahoma is here on November 19th. Baylor on December 3rd. Hill gonna air it out. Knocked away. On 3rd and 15, one more play, 3 seconds left. And Dana Holgorsen, a guy that was on the hot seat going into the season. You can see why the administration is stuck with him and that he's gaining more and more supporters. Tony Gibson, the defensive coordinator, has that unit going. The offense playing mistake-free football. And this is a team to watch the final month and a half of the regular season. Stoppage of play, another flag on TCU. Already been penalized 8 times, turned it over 3 times.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
So it'll be the first time since 2013 that Gary Patterson has lost more than 2 games in a season. And we're not in November yet. They were 4-8 back in 2013. Should be the final play, and TCU just going to hand it off. And that'll do it. West Virginia improves to 6-0 for the first time in a decade. Some extracurricular activity, and Dana Holgorsen in there quickly talking to one of his defensive players. He should be smiling. Boy, he looks stressed out in the first half, but done a great job getting this team to where they are. And a guy that has come onto the scene this year, Skyler Howard, with 4 touchdown passes. Let's go to Tom.
Well, Coach, you jump up 8 spots last week, start getting the attention of the nation. What type of message does this send?
I'll be honest with you, we really didn't pay attention to where we were or how many spots we moved up. Probably not going to pay attention to it this week either. You're only good as your next game. You know, this group understands that. Nobody was giving them credit in the beginning of the year. Our job is to make sure we keep them grounded, and I think we'll do that.
Your quarterback, Skyler Howard, you told our crew this week that he's got to start playing like a starting quarterback, and you felt like he's done that. A remarkable performance today.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I mean, Gary's so good on defense. He's hard to move the ball against. You got to make some big plays. But the biggest thing that he did was just get us in the right play, and he took care of the football as well. So if you do that with our run game and the receivers making plays downfield, we got a chance.
All right, Coach, go enjoy this win.
All right, thank you, Tom.
How about for Howard? 7 of his 16 completions were more than 15 yards. He had back-to-back incompletions only once in this game. Perfect performance for Skyler Howard. West Virginia wins 34-10 over TCU. For Greg McElroy, Tom Luganville, our entire crew, I'm Dave Pasch. So long from Morgantown, where the party is on.